Okay, on to lesson 10-3, review for mastery volume of pyramids and cones. So we're finding the volume of a pyramid now and the volume of a cone. These two, you have to memorize the formulas, but they are the same formula. So you have a pyramid is a solid figure named for the shape of its base, which is a polygon. So we did this in 10-1 going over these definitions. So we have a pyramid here, and you know it's a pyramid because all the lines run into a point. Now on these kind, you're actually going to say a third of base times height. So they show you in these two pictures where that comes from. Basically, you have base times height for a regular prism, and a pyramid only takes up a third of that. So a third being that in this pyramid, if I put a point right here, I'm only taking up, if I fill this in, the volume is only a third of this here. So it's only a third of this prism. Looked really ugly when I scribbled it. Now, this would be the formula that you're using. Notice that your base is a big B. So it's not like you're only using a side. You're finding the whole area like we were in 10-2. So find the area of this, and then you're going to multiply by the height. Now here is the very important part. Notice where the height is being pointed. Let me zoom in on that. Let's change colors. It has this little line that goes right here. And it's going straight up, and there should be a 90-degree angle right here. So your height is in the middle. Think of it as the pole in the middle of a circus tent, right? So that pole is holding up the whole pyramid tent. Okay. So that pole is right in the middle, should end like right here. Now, a cone and cylinder have congruent bases and congruent heights, volume of a cone and volume of a cylinder. So the volume of the cone is actually equal to a third of the volume of a cylinder. So you're still doing base and then times height. So the formula for the cylinder was pi r squared, because that's your base, times your height. Now over here, the difference is you're actually doing pi r squared times your height. Oh, sorry, I just left it there. And then multiplying by a third, because it only if you connect the lines here, it will only take a third of the volume. Now that we've kind of gone over those, let's start actually solving. So complete these to find the volume of each figure. So this one would be a cone. You look back at your notes. Okay, on a cone, we're going to use this. Volume equals a third times base times height. And your formula is actually a third times pi r squared times h. So over here, if you notice, they've already wrote it for you. The radius r of base is equal to, where's the radius? Do you see it? Looking for a radius right now. They only give you two things, the height, and here it is, the radius. Radius is 3 inches. So we're going to say the radius is equal to 3 inches. They changed the base to pi r squared times h, as I was explaining in the notes. Now you have 1/3 pi times r squared. Well, r was 3, right? So r equals 3. We're going to have to plug this in. So this is going to be 3 squared times your h. And your h, looking back up here, was 10. So I'm going to plug in 10 right there. Now 3 squared is 3 times 3, which is 9. 9 times pi, 9 pi times 10. Now 9 pi times a third, 9 divided by 3 is going to be 3 pi times 10. 3 times 10 is going to be 30 pi, right? And remember, we only multiply the numbers right now. Now we change pi to 3.14, so that's where this 3.14 came from, this pi here. And I'm going to just bring down 30, and let's do this on our calculator. 30 times 3.14, 94.2. So 94.2 inches cubed. Now number 2, rectangular pyramid. So on here, we're on a pyramid. Our notes say that it's going to be a third big B times h. Big B was because we're going to actually do a base times height over here to find the area of everything that's down here. So, area of a rectangle, they even tell you right here, base is a rectangle. It could be a square, but they don't tell you, so we're going to say it's a rectangle. Now, the area of a rectangle, or actually they do tell you by these numbers, they would have to be the same for it to be a square. What is 8 times 6 for that? And then you're multiplying it by the height, which is 5. And they already have your third there for you. 8 times 6 is going to be 48 times 5. So we can say 48 times 5. I like to do the whole numbers first, so we get 240. Now we have 1/3. I'm going to do a little side work, times 240. Should I even? Nah, let's just do this without a calculator at this point. Because once you have the 240, you should be able to do this. Because look, 240 divided by 3 is what this simplifies for. If you cover up this 0, 3 goes into 24 how many times? 8. Then put the 0 back on. So this is 80 inches cubed. Now, if you don't believe me or you couldn't follow that, then definitely use the calculator so you can see where I got this from. But all I did was cover up this 0. 3 goes into 24 8 times. Put the 0 back on, and now it's 80. Okay, going to the next one. Go to practice A 10-3. Find the volume of each figure to the nearest tenth. Use 3.14 for pi. The pyramid is volume equals 1/3 base times height. The cone is volume equals 1/3 pi r squared times h. And use 3.14 for pi. So on here, we're going to say, all right, here, let's go through and label whether it's a cone or a pyramid so we know what to use. Because if it's a cone, we use this formula. If it's a pyramid, we use this formula. So it's pretty important that we know what we're dealing with. So number 1 is a cone. Number 2 is a pyramid. Number 3 is a cone. I'll let you finish the rest on those. Now, number 1, let's look at that. That's going to be a cone, so we would look over here and say, all right, for a cone, we're going to use volume equals 1/3 pi r squared times h. Let me go ahead and highlight what we use for a pyramid so we can draw some attention to that. So those are the two formulas we're choosing from. For a cone, we're going to say 1/3 pi times r squared. Your radius is going to be 3 centimeters, so we're going to say 3 squared times your h, which is going to be 8. Now 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 8, and then we have pi and 1/3. 9 times 8 is 72. And then 1/3, and they do want you to use 3.14, so let me back up a little bit. Might as well put the 3.14 right now. So we have 1/3 times 3.14 times 9 times 8. Okay, let me go through that. This pi right here, this is why I erased it. I replaced that with 3.14. Okay? From here, it just becomes a calculator problem. Multiply all these and then divide by 3. So let's do that. So we have 9 times 8 is going to be 72. So I'm not going to waste my time with that. That's just going to be 72 right away. Times 3.14. That's 226.08 times a third is the same as saying divided by 3. So this is going to be 75.36. The unit was centimeters. Centimeters cubed. So here is your answer for number 1. Okay, we're going to do number 2, and then I believe I will let you do the rest. Okay, and number 7 through 11 is basically, instead of showing you a picture, they write it out. Okay, number 2 is going to be find the base here. So the base is going to be, well, it was for a pyramid, so we're going to say volume equals 1/3 times the base, which is 3 times 3. So this is the base. So far, I've 3 times 3 would be that area. Then multiply by the height times 5. Oh, this one's nice because look, 3 times a third is the same as saying 1, right? So 1/3 times 3 is the same as just saying 1 times 3 times 5. So this is 15 is equal to the volume. And we are done on that one because it was a lot easier numbers to deal with on here because there's on a pyramid there's no pi. So that's what made it really easy is there's no decimal, 3.14. Okay. All right, so that's lesson 10-3. That's the end of that. Yeah, I think everything is covered. You have enough on here to work with. If you get stuck at any point, that means that you should go back and watch this video at certain points again just to get that explanation because there really are no big surprises here. On these, let me go over number 7 just to make sure that you understand what I'm talking about here. The base of a regular pyramid has an area of 12 feet squared. The height of the pyramid is 8 feet. Find the volume. So the base of a regular pyramid, so we're dealing with a regular pyramid. You can go back to your notes and you see that a regular pyramid here, a rectangular pyramid, is going to be volume equals 1/3 base times height. So this is volume. Let's change that. Volume equals 1/3 base, big B, times height. The base of a rectangular pyramid has an area of 12 feet, so this B needs to change to 12. So 1/3 times 12 times your height of 8. There you go. And you're ready to work this out. So all of these are just telling you what the information is in the same way as the diagram does, but it tells you in words.